Okay, today I'm in 7 Days to Die, and basically this game is pretty much like a RPG slash Minecraft type of game, if you've never heard of it. And essentially, it's called 7 Days to Die because you need to be ready every 7 days because you're going to be attacked at night by an unrelenting horde of zombies. And as you go up in levels, the zombies get tougher, and because of that, you need to get better weapons and you need to build a better fort to hold out for the night. Now, I'm around day 160 ish. I can't remember what day it was for sure, but I've gotten a pretty good fort built up. I made a foundation made out of concrete, and then I built my kind of my living quarters and workroom out of wood on top of it. And I kind of got caught off guard today because I went out on a scavenging run and didn't realize it was a blood moon day until I heard the weather change and the sky started turning red. And that's kind of your signal that it's going to be a blood moon. And my fort's basically, I wouldn't say impenetrable, but as far as the attacks I've gotten so far, it should hold up just fine. What I'm putting down here are these wood stakes that are probably the best all around defense you can ever have for a base. And you can start building these at low level. And but even now, I've progressed up to concrete, and I feel like these are pretty much essential to have around your base because not only can zombies damage your base, but they can dig around it. And as we go around to the front here in a minute, you'll see where the zombies have actually dug into the dirt and dug under my base. And I had to actually come over here and lay down a bunch of concrete blocks. Essentially, I had to wall in, and I've got a whole bunch of traps down there. But I don't know if it's going to be enough because like I said, I just wasn't ready for it. But I should be fine. They're just probably gonna dig under my base more. I've got a drawbridge, and that is by far the best way to create an entrance for your base. And I'm going to ride my mini bike in here. Mini bike isn't essential, but man, it helps a ton, especially when you're trying to gather up resources. Got a cement mixer back there. I'm going to come up to my main work area here. Now, all my turrets are online, and the positioning of the turrets is critical. Unfortunately, zombies like to attack from different angles, and when I set these turrets up, they were in the prime position to take down tons of zombies as they came in, but you actually never really know for sure what direction zombies are going to try to attack you. And today I'm just going to kind of go around and get my shotgun turrets ready to go. You lock the ammo to get them ready. I've got a generator, which I keep running at all times because it really doesn't use much fuel. I'm just going to fuel it up to make sure that it runs for the entire night. The generator is what powers my turrets, all my lighting. I got spotlights set up because it'll get really dark and be kind of hard to see. So I had originally built, like where I'm pointing right now, I built kind of like a tunnel of doom, like this really trap-filled entrance that I would assume the zombies were going to use, but they just want no part of it. So that's kind of a part of my base that like it needs to change, but for the time being, I can hold up just fine. So what you always go into a blood moon feeling like you have enough ammo, and then you never do. So I'm gonna make a little bit of ammunition right now, and as the zombies come in, I'm gonna try and preview all the weapons that I've gotten so far. There's more weapons than I've actually previewed in ammunition types, but for my way of gaming and what I've come up against so far, these are all fine. I mean, like shotguns. I've got an SMG. I've got a sniper rifle. I think above all else, once you get a shotgun, you want to preserve that shotgun. You want to power it up. Essentially, get the best parts you can for it because a shotgun is like, as far as I can tell, like the best all-around weapon that I've come across because it has that short-range stopping power. You can put a flashlight on it. It doesn't take a lot of shots generally to bring down zombies if they're up close. And so when you're out scavenging and whatnot, I would just say the shotgun is what you always want to have. All the other weapons are just kind of a convenience. Like right now, I'm using a sniper rifle. It's pretty powerful, has good long range, has a scope. That helps tremendously when you're shooting at zombies. Doesn't have any kick at all, which isn't very realistic, but I'll take it. It isn't the most powerful rifle. The most powerful is actually the hunting rifle, which I just never use because it's a one-shotter and you have to reload in between shots. As long as you get a headshot, you're usually good to drop most zombies, but these cops are just, which is the green guy I'm looking at right now, this is an irradiated policeman. And these guys are super difficult, and if they hang around long enough, they blow up, which he just did. Which, that explosion is very powerful. It can wreck wooden structures. Concrete will hold up to it, but if there's any way possible, you want to drop those guys as quick as you can, especially if they're around your base. So what happened here, as is typical for the zombies, they picked the part of my base that doesn't have any shotgun turrets. And normally my shotgun turrets would have made short work of these guys, like as soon as they showed up. But of course I haven't put up a turret in the direction they're coming in. Now zombies are going to follow you no matter where you're at. So they're going to come over here, a few of them, but unfortunately, zombies always travel in a straight line, and in this case, a straight line means going under my base, which it's just not going to work for these turrets. But here again, I didn't kill him quick enough that he just kind of popped. But luckily, I've got concrete walls. You know, they're going to be able to absorb tons of damage, and as far as I can tell, there's just really no other option. You want to at least use concrete for your foundation. I had one game here where all the zombies came in for that front entrance where I have the two turrets, and those turrets were just wrecking zombies. And what's great about the turrets is they're actually better than you. They'll get headshots every time. Pretty much any monster that comes into their range is going to get blown away really quickly by a shotgun turret. And I wouldn't say they're essential. It just depends on how much of a base you've got, how much area you need to defend. Now this is a football player. Football players are really dangerous because even in daylight, they run full speed straight at you, where most other zombies, during daylight, they just kind of shamble along and aren't too quick. Now, most of the zombies don't have a ranged attack, but these policemen do, and that makes them especially dangerous. Like, he took quite a bit of my life away, and from a pretty long range, I guess they're spitting some type of acid or radioactive goo, I don't know what it is. Now, I was a little bit surprised because I shot this guy a bunch of times. Maybe not at optimal range for a shotgun, but I shot him a lot and could not take it down. So if we were on foot, face to face, no obstacles between me and that policeman, I'd probably be dead because he just took way too much damage from me. Now, unfortunately, what I didn't do was demonstrate the two different types of shotgun ammunition. You can use regular shells, which is kind of my bread and butter, or you can make slugs. Now, slugs only work for long barrel shotguns. If you have a sawed-off shotgun, you can't load slugs. But slugs are basically the most powerful ranged ammunition that I've found. Obviously, you've got rocket launchers, which I actually haven't used. I probably should have got my rocket launcher out for this, but I just haven't messed with it yet because generally I feel like for the kind of damage that it does, it's really only for specific enemies and in specific situations. And it's just not necessary at this point. I think the submachine gun's my favorite weapon. The issue with it is it's really only good fired in like a quick burst and for headshotting zombies. If you're not headshotting, if you just really let it rock and roll, you're going to burn up ammunition and it's not going to do very much damage as it needs to. But it's a fun weapon. It's great for like when you're scavenging, you're entering into a building, and you want to just eliminate sleeping zombies really quickly and not attract a lot of attention. It's a great weapon. It's actually silenced, so and it's, as far as I know, the only firearm that is. So it doesn't attract a lot of attention like loud noises like shotgun shooting, any other kind of rifle or firearm is going to attract zombies. But submachine gun, because it's silenced, well, it's like shooting an arrow. And most of these zombies are basically, cannon fodder. They're not high level. Now, if I was on the ground against them, I'd be in a tough spot because it's after dark. The zombies run fast after dark. It can be hard to target them. They can gang up on you and kill you really quick. So in a way, it might look like it's kind of a crapshoot here, like it's just really easy. But actually, if I was to fall down, which I have on these blood moons, because aiming like I'm doing right now is kind of tricky, and it's easy to fall off. And I've done that and just ruined my entire blood moon because I fell off and then respawned and just was in all kinds of trouble. But these police cops, I really should have had slugs for them because they were just taking way too much damage. But like how deep that mode is, that's all due to zombies because they have come after me. They've gotten to the concrete wall, couldn't penetrate it, and just wound up digging this deep hole. And all the traps I had in there at the beginning of the video are all gone because they've all just concentrated there. And he just blew up. I just couldn't get to him quick enough. And always when it comes to zombies, headshots are critical. That's what you want to get. And this zombie cop just nearly killed me. So I'm gonna have to use a first aid kit. We've got multiple forges in here. I have a workbench, a chemistry station, and then down below I've got a concrete mixer. I basically have all the crafting benches that I need. So what I'm going to have to do here is before the next blood moon, I'm going to have to put up a shotgun turret here and just kind of point it. I might actually put two if I can find two long barrel shotguns to put in here. But and what we're looking at right here, the green guy, he's an irradiated feral white, I believe is what he is. Now, feral white is enough trouble not irradiated, but because he's glowing green, he's even more powerful, and they are extremely tough. It looked like I had him down, but apparently I didn't. I'm going to try and finish him off here. He should be down now. And what I'm finding is a lot of times in like a blood moon like I've got here where the zombies aren't going where my main defenses are, the sniper rifle is overall the best weapon for attacking at range, getting headshots, putting zombies down quickly from a distance. I'm going to use Molotov cocktails. Now, a lot of people aren't too up on them because essentially burning zombies don't net you experience for some reason. But I find that extra damage, it's one of the few area effect damaging abilities you've got, or I should say weapons, and they're extremely effective early on, especially if you get hit by zombie hordes. I'm finding the damage isn't quite keeping up to the toughness of the zombies now, but it's still nice, especially in a dark area, to light up a whole group of them. So these are flaming arrows that I'm using, and I actually don't use them very much. I don't like the resources that go into making them, and I don't find the damage is too great. It is kind of nice because it lights them up and then it does dot damage to them. And these zombie cops are just, they're kind of worrying me because if I ran into one on foot, I'd be dead. And because I didn't get him dead quick enough before he blew up. My house is actually right next to a lake, and there's a building on it that's kind of like got a dock built into it, and there was a zombie cop in it when I went to clean it out, and I didn't kill him on time, and he blew up, and he like blew up half of the shack, like all the wood in range of him was just destroyed. I really like the submachine gun. It's just a little bit unfortunate it uses 9mm rounds. But like I said before, if you can kind of catch a zombie off guard or like not awake and just put a headshot on them, it's really effective. When I first started making Molotov cocktails, they would burn down a whole horde pretty quickly, but now it's at a point where it just doesn't do enough damage. But it is kind of useful for just kind of lighting them all up and giving you a good target to aim at. And what I'll have to do is, when the Bloodmoon's over, I'm gonna have to go down in there. I built a whole wall of concrete down below my draw room, and it just got knocked out by the zombies because there wasn't really much to stop them. And they got under my fort to where I couldn't target them from above. And so I'm definitely gonna have to put at least one turret up front and point it straight down. Now here it just worked out great because I was able to drop him in one shot. I got a headshot, and then when he was down, I double tapped him in the head, and that is game over for him. But if you're not headshotting him, you're going to use up a lot of ammunition before you take him down. And here again, I was out scavenging all day, and I had a full inventory of stuff. And you know, when you're kind of in the middle of a siege like this, you don't like want to have to go around making ammunition and whatnot. And yeah, it's like you can have hundreds of rounds of different types of ammunition and feel like, yeah, I got plenty, but by the time you're like halfway into a Bloodmoon, you'll realize, oh wait, I didn't have enough ammunition. And here I was out of wood, and I just kind of went around chopping up non-essential areas of my fort to build up enough wood to where I could use my forges. I've watched a lot of videos on this game, and there's a lot of guys that have much more elaborate bases and areas to kind of hold out during a Bloodmoon. And like, so this, as far as I go, like this is pretty much my end game. Like this is as far as I've gotten. And I'm at a point where it's just basically like, I'm not trying to survive day to day anymore. I'm just kind of like trying to get as creative as I can now because I can build pretty much whatever I want. The crossbow, it's the most powerful of all the arrow type weapons, but at this point it doesn't do a whole bunch of damage against special type zombies like the zombie copier. I mean, I don't even know how many arrows it would take to drop him. Molotov cocktail. So I mean, like overall, I feel like 7 Days to Die is probably the most satisfying, actually, in the early to mid levels when you finally get to where you feel like you're ready for a Blood Moon, and and sometimes you have like these epic battles that where you're just like down to the last nub of your defenses, and you're just waiting for that timer to go back to daylight for the Blood Moon to end. So this like isn't the most I guess intense Blood Moon, but I've had a few of them where I wound up on foot just running and dying and running and dying, and so you just never know because the zombies, like once you feel like you've gotten their behavior figured out, something new happens, or if you feel like your weaponry is enough to where you can take them down quickly enough. Seems like they're always upgrading as you gain levels and abilities. Okay, for this part, I'm just going to kind of hurry it up a little bit because the Blood Moon is just about over. And what I'm trying to do right now is basically just kind of get to the final portion of it because it did get a little bit interesting here. I'm going to have a lot of repair work to do. What I'll do is I'll go down and clean up all those corpses, and then I'll build a bunch of concrete blocks to just kind of wall it back in. And then I'm going to have to build a couple of, I'm going to have to build one shotgun turret for sure, but maybe two. I'll probably have one pointed straight down, and then have one pointed just a little bit up higher at an angle to where it'll shoot at them as they come in. And then as they kind of congregate straight down below, I can hopefully clean them up. So here I kind of gambled a little bit and went out on foot, which I probably shouldn't have, but it was like basically the Blood Moon was pretty much over, and I needed to get it done and get them all cleaned out from under my fort. And really, the only way to do it is to kind of lure them out. And so finally, I was like, whatever. I'm going to make a little bit of ammunition, and I'm going to go out on foot and try to get these guys cleaned up to where I can start repairing. Dogs, whether they're zombie dogs or living dogs, are very dangerous. They're really quick, and if you don't have a shotgun, it can be hard to target them. So anytime you notice a dog, or if you hear one howling, or I don't know if it's a dog or a wolf, I just call them dogs, but either way, you want to make sure you get a good ranged weapon out, sniper rifle, or a hunting rifle, and drop them before they get close to you, because once a dog gets in your range, you are in a lot of trouble. A shotgun is really good at close range, but they can be really hard to hit. I'm going to try and finish these guys off because they're basically trapped under my fort. One cool part about living dogs is they'll attack zombies. Occasionally you'll just come across dogs just going around mauling zombies. For the most part, dogs can take down zombies pretty well. And I got an irradiated white here, and now I'm out of ammunition. So what I did here was I just ran. I was like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do, really. I tried dropping Molotov cocktail. I got them all over me. And of course, I forgot I had 2 shotgun turrets ready to go, armed and ready. And I got a screamer behind me. Whenever she screams, she calls in a horde of zombies. So now I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I just going to run forever until I lose them? Then I heard my shotgun turrets going off. And I was like, okay, I can just go back and hang around my turrets and let them clean up after me. Now usually these guys have really good loot, but he didn't. And these two are bugged. They should have fallen down. Yeah, and he's got AK-47 parts, which is really good loot. And this dog, he's bugged too. I'm going to get out my hunting knife and cut him up for what dogs or living animals carry that's really important is raw meat, which you need for food. Undead vultures are really good for feathers. You need those to make arrows. I think vultures carry, I believe, 50 feathers. I'm not 100% sure. And those zombies have really dug up the terrain all around here. Drawbridges, whenever you can get to a point where you can make one, that's exactly what you want. It's perfect. You can open and shut it. You don't have to worry about zombies getting in as long as you've got a moat under it. Just a great way of getting in and out of your base. But as far as I can tell, we're pretty much done. At this point, I'm just going to go around and deactivate all my shotgun turrets to where they don't shoot at easy zombies as they're just kind of strolling by. So pretty much my goals now is I need to add one more top shotgun turret for sure, maybe two, and I'll probably light it up a little bit more. And I'm going to have to just wall in a bunch of concrete down under the drawbridge to where the zombies can't dig back under my fort again. They've actually dug deep enough to find stone, which is kind of cool. But yep, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.